Thanks for joining me here at the very windy Cannes Film Festival. Let's start with the man who's one of the US's most energetic, erratic and controversial filmmakers. Francis Ford Coppola is best known for his trilogy, The Godfather, but he also won the Palme d'Or hit 30 years ago for his movie Apocalypse Now. Now he's back to premiere Tetro in the director's fortnight, and the weight of expectation has been intense.
The director of The Godfather and Apocalypse Now is 70 years old, but he has never seemed so young.
I want to learn. I'll do any film where I can really learn something.
His film Tetro kicked off the director's fortnight, a talent scouting sidebar to the main Cannes festival for which it didn't secure a slot. But Coppola has already won the Palme d'Or twice. Tetro is about a rivalry between a father and a son and takes place against a backdrop of family secrets. It's his most personal film to date.
Nothing in the story is true, but it's true. And with my last film, I made a film that was interesting to me to learn, but it was more philosophical. And I wanted to make something for the heart that was emotional, and I only knew to go back to my own memory of my family and what I thought and my relationship, you know, but I wanted to write a story where I could learn something about myself, because I wanted to make an emotional film, but to make an emotional film, I needed to know what I feel emotional about, and what I feel emotional about is my family. It's an unusual family, it's a wonderful family, I love them all very much, but at the same time you hate them.
Much of the movie was shot in black and white in Argentina with the actor Vincent Gallo, a way for Coppola of denouncing the rigid rules of the film industry.
Black and white is not just the absence of color. Black and white is a different art form because you have to light to create the separation. It's a different emotion. And I feel it's outrageous that the television companies make this rule that they will pay less for a black and white film. They should pay for what's a good film, you know? I mean, is La Notte not good? Is 8.5 not good because it's not worth the same money as some terrible color film? So I partly did it to rebel, but also I needed to, since I could have black and white and color, I needed to have one part in black and white and one part in color. Yeah, it's the maximum of luxury. I mean, I am so lucky, I am so privileged that I can make movies and I can, you know, finance them myself. These are a difficult film because the audiences want to go see Spider-Man. You know, the audience doesn't support some personal film, but you know, fortunately I made a big success in my company's hotels and wine, and I will just use my money to make films.
Coppola says nothing matters more to him than artistic freedom.
Well, I don't ever want to do something where someone gives me the script and says, hey, we'll pay you money to go do the movie, because they couldn't pay me enough money. There isn't enough money in the earth to make me go do a movie that I don't love.
Well, now to the competition. It's raw, it's grainy, and yes, it is controversial. Liu Yi's Spring Fever was shot in China in secret using handheld cameras because the director is currently banned from making films in his home country. It tells the story of romantic relations between a group of friends. That sounds straightforward, but of course it's not. It starts, as it means to continue, with very graphic scenes of gay sex. Now, this is something very taboo in China. It's Liu Yi's third try for the Palme, but critics say it's not his best shot.
Nankin by night, exploring karaokes and clubs. Jingsheng is homosexual. Spring Fever is a slice of his life. In the course of the film, he will encounter two married men and ruin their couples twice. The wives will know what's going on. The story is a violent and raging trip. It's also pointing at a Chinese taboo.
There are no statistics concerning homosexuality. There isn't really a gay culture in China. No organizations. In fact, we have very little information. In China, people don't ask themselves if they accept or reject homosexuality. They don't understand what it's about.
The atmosphere in the film is rather grey and melancholic. It was shot illegally in natural lighting with a small handheld camera.
I think today's films are too complicated. There's too much money involved. In a way, they are so complicated that you tend to forget what cinema is really about. In the end, cinema is simple. It's a cameraman, a director, and a good story.
It's the third time Lu Ye comes to Cannes with a film. His work is banned in China, and for a while the authorities even forbid him to shoot. Today he says he's confident that things will eventually change.
The newest kid on the block up for Palme d'Or this year is the UK's Andrea Arnold. The Oscar-winning director has already enjoyed some success here at Cannes in 2006. She was awarded the Jury Prize for her debut feature, Red Road. Well, now she's here to premiere her family drama, Fish Tank.
Mia is 15 and has just been kicked out of school. Her estate in one of England's bleak suburbs has nothing to offer.
What the fuck's your problem?
Other than smoking, drinking, or getting into fights.
Don't start. You can talk, Kaylee. Since when did you have such ugly friends? Talk about ugly, you skanky little pikey.
Young Katie Jarvis is not a trained actress. She was just picked off the street for this role.
She was on one platform and her boyfriend was on the other, and they'd had I won't explain what the argument was about, but they were having a massive argument, and she was yelling at him across the platform, and she has a lot of character and a lot of energy, Katie. So Lucy, who was the casting assistant, thought, well, there's somebody with some energy.
In between street fights and binge drinking, Mia gets acquainted with her mother's new lover, a father figure whose tenderness gradually turns into lust, sometimes making for uneasy viewing.
I always am interested in the place where you feel you shouldn't go. And if they do things that you find uncomfortable, but it's true, you have to let them do it. And I mean, all sorts of uncomfortable things happen in life. So, even while I was feeling probably, well, I definitely was feeling uncomfortable writing that, it was what was happening. So I just allowed it to be.
Filmmaker Andrea ARNOLD depicts Mia's family life with documentary precision, devoid of any poetry. The only soundtrack in this movie, the haunting echo of this tiny kitchen.
Well, yes, it's about the films, but the Cannes Film Festival is also about the glamour as well. Many of the big names ended their evening paddling on the beach after the party for the opening animated film Up. And at another party, Francis Ford Coppola dipped his toes in the water before everyone headed home to bed at around 2 a.m. But for some, 2 is just the start of the night, with partying going on in nightclubs and villas until dusk. Remember, you can get special coverage of the Cannes Film Festival on our website, that's at france24.com. Join me again here tomorrow for more glitz and glamour from the French Riviera.